Welcome to New Bike Info, where we talk about everything motorcycles. Today's topic, bikes that are just sitting in showrooms, collecting dust. We're looking at 7 motorcycles that dealers are struggling to sell. Some are overpriced, some just don't resonate with riders, but all of them are stuck. Let's dive into these unusual bikes. Number 7. Suzuki Hayabusa. Is the hype gone? The Suzuki Hayabusa, once the undisputed king of speed, now sits in showrooms, waiting for a new home. Let's break down why this legend is struggling to move. When it comes to performance, the Busa is still a powerhouse. Its 340cc inline-4 engine delivers 188 horsepower and 111 lb-ft of torque. It blasts from 0 to 60 mph in just 3.2 seconds and covers a quarter mile in 9.6 seconds, numbers that remain impressive even today. The latest generation launched with a price tag of $18,500, and that's where the first issue comes in. For many riders, especially younger enthusiasts, that's a tough pill to swallow. Add in dealer fees, taxes, and essential gear, and the cost rises even more. Then factor in expensive tires, premium oil changes, and sky-high insurance rates, and you're looking at a serious financial commitment. But the bigger problem is how the motorcycle market has evolved. Today's riders want versatility, not just straight-line speed. While Suzuki did upgrade the Busa with modern tech, ride modes, traction control, and a quick shifter, competing bikes offer similar features with more practicality. Meanwhile, adventure bikes are dominating, and sport tourers now offer both speed and comfort. The Busa's styling, though updated, still carries that distinct bulbous look, which is divisive. It's like wearing shoulder pads in 2024, iconic, but not exactly modern. There's also increasing focus on emissions and fuel efficiency. In such an era where efficiency is king, a high-powered gas guzzler isn't exactly trending. That said, if you've got the budget and passion, dealers are more willing than ever to offer great deals on these bikes. Just remember, buying a Hayabusa isn't just about getting a motorcycle. It's about owning a piece of motorcycling history. Number 6. Ducati Streetfighter V4. Too pricey for the street? The Ducati Streetfighter V4 is both a work of art and a street-ready beast. This Italian stallion turns heads everywhere, but it's also turning away potential buyers. Let's break down why this machine is causing headaches for dealerships. At its core, the Streetfighter V4 houses a 1,203cc Desmosedici Stradale V4 engine, cranking out an insane 208 horsepower in its base model. It rockets from 0 to 60 mph in just 2.9 seconds and keeps pulling beyond 170 mph on paper. It's the dream machine for speed enthusiasts. But here's where reality kicks in: the price. With a starting price of around $22,000 for the base model and nearly $30,000 for the SP variant, it's simply out of reach for many riders. And that's before you factor in insurance, maintenance, and the inevitable speeding tickets. The Streetfighter V4 also faces a unique problem. It's almost too good for the street. With MotoGP-inspired aerodynamics and more power than most cars, it's a race-ready monster disguised as a street bike. But how many riders can actually take advantage of its full potential on public roads? It's like using a flamethrower to light a candle. Maintenance is another sticking point. The desmodromic valve system requires specialized service, and those sticky race-spec tires aren't cheap to replace. Plus, the aggressive riding position isn't exactly comfortable for daily commutes or long rides. Another hurdle: Ducati's limited dealer network. Compared to Japanese brands, finding service can be tricky in some areas. And while Ducati's reliability has improved, it still doesn't have the best reputation in that department. Despite all this, the Streetfighter V4 is an engineering masterpiece. For those who can afford it and have the skills to handle it, the experience is unmatched. But for dealers, it's a tough sell in a market where practicality often wins over pure performance. Number 5. Indian FTR 1200. A stylish bike that's stuck in the middle. Indian's FTR 1200 is a beautiful motorcycle that takes inspiration from flat track racing, giving it a unique, aggressive look. But despite its style and solid performance, it hasn't been selling well. The good 203C V-twin engine, with 120 HP sporty handling for a cruiser-cool flat-track aesthetic. So why is it struggling? It doesn't fit a clear category. The FTR 1200 isn't a traditional cruiser, but it's also not a true sport bike or adventure bike. Riders looking for one of those specific categories tend to choose more established options. It's not comfortable for long rides, unlike the Indian Scout or Chief, The FTR 1200 has an upright seating position and a stiff suspension, making it less comfortable for touring. It's expensive compared to competitors. With a starting price of $13,500, $16,500, the FTR competes against bikes like the Ducati Monster, Yamaha MT-09, and Triumph Speed Triple, all of which offer similar performance at a lower price. The FTR 1200 is a great bike, but it's stuck in an identity crisis. It's too sporty for cruiser riders and too heavy for sport bike fans. Number 4. Harley-Davidson LiveWire, the EV gamble that isn't paying off. Harley-Davidson's LiveWire was supposed to be the start of a new era, an electric future for Harley riders. But in reality, it's been a slow seller since its debut. And even with a rebrand, it still hasn't found its audience. What's the deal? Harley launched the LiveWire in 2025 with big expectations. The idea was simple. Take Harley's reputation for premium bikes and bring it into the EV space. It had solid specs including 105 horsepower electric motor, a 60 mph, in just 3 seconds, 146 miles of city range on paper. It's an exciting bike. Instant torque, silent operation, and zero emissions. It's everything a futuristic motorcycle should be. So why isn't it selling? 1. The price is outrageous. When it first launched, the LiveWire had a $30,000 price tag, a huge ask for a bike that lacks the rumble and personality of a traditional Harley. Even after price cuts, it's still far more expensive than gas-powered alternatives. 2. The charging infrastructure is lacking. Unlike electric cars, motorcycles don't have the same level of fast charging stations available. Finding a DC fast charger on a long ride is still a challenge. It doesn't appeal to traditional Harley riders. Harley's core audience is all about the V-twin sound, long-distance touring, and classic cruiser looks. The LiveWire is the complete opposite. Most Harley riders don't see it as a real Harley. The EV market is still small for motorcycles, unlike electric cars. Electric motorcycles are still niche. Most riders aren't ready to switch because of range anxiety, charging time, and price. The LiveWire is a solid electric bike, but the market just isn't there yet. Until prices drop and charging infrastructure improves, EV motorcycles are going to struggle to take off, especially at this price. Number 3. BMW R18. A cruiser that's too heavy for its own good. BMW's attempt at an American-style cruiser, the R18, looks stunning, but it's not flying off showroom floors. The good 1802cc boxer twin with 91 HP classic cruiser styling with premium build quality, comfortable for long rides. So why isn't it selling? 1. It's way too heavy. At 761 lbs, the R18 is one of the heaviest cruisers on the market, even heavier than a Harley Road Glide. That weight makes it hard to handle at low speeds. The boxer engine isn't for everyone. BMW's horizontally opposed twin-cylinder engine is legendary, but in a cruiser, just doesn't have the same appeal as a V-twin. Tough competition from Harley and Indian. If you're spending $18,000 plus on a cruiser, you're probably looking at a Harley-Davidson or Indian, brands with a huge loyal following. The R18 is a well-built cruiser, but its heavyweight, unique engine and stiff competition make it a tough sell. Number 2. Kawasaki Ninja ZX-6R, the dying breed of 600cc supersports. The dying breed of 600cc supersports. Once the king of middleweight sport bikes, the Kawasaki ZX-6R is now struggling to sell. The problems? 1. The 600cc class is fading. Riders are shifting toward naked bikes, adventure bikes, and leader-class superbikes. Insurance costs are brutal. Sport bikes have some of the highest insurance rates, making them expensive for young riders. High competition from naked bikes like the Yamaha MT-09 and KTM Duke 890 offers similar power with more comfort and lower insurance costs. Verdict? The ZX-6R is still an incredible machine, but the market for 600cc sport bikes is shrinking fast. Number 1. Honda NT1100, the touring bike. Nobody asked for. Honda tried to create a lighter, sportier alternative to big touring bikes like the Gold Wing and Africa Twin, but the NT1100 has been a sales flop. The issues? 1. It's not exciting. The NT1100 is basically a Honda Africa Twin with road tires, but it lacks the character and excitement of its adventure bike sibling. Expensive for what it offers. At $14,000, $16,000, it competes with Yamaha Tracer 9 GT, and BMW R1250 RT, both of which offer more features and better value, or tourer, and not rugged enough for an ADV bike, leaving it in a weird middle ground. Honda's NT1100 is a solid bike, but it doesn't have a clear audience, which is why it's struggling in sales. Some of these bikes are amazing machines, but the market has moved on. Would you buy one if the price was right? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching New Bike Info. Hit like, subscribe, and ride safe. Next one.